What's up, Math 8? Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Math with Mullins. Today we're going to be looking at our Semester 1 final review. So this is going to cover chapters 1 through 3. If you needed to, you can go back and look at any of those videos, but this is just kind of one video that covers all those topics, which is order of operations, solving equations, and then solving inequalities. Number 1, which operation should you do first when calculating this expression? We want to do our division first because it's within those parentheses, so you should select D, divide. Next, which are the like terms in 4 plus 5x minus 2x? It's going to be option B, 5x and negative 2x. Make sure you pay attention to that negative in front of the 2. 3, what do you get when you distribute the following problem? We're going to do 8 times 6x and 8 times a negative 10. 8 times 6x would be 48x, and 8 times negative 10 would be negative 80. So when you put those two things together, you get option C. Now we're going to go into some graphing ones. What is the correct graph for negative 5 is greater than x? Remember, a lot of the times when we talked about this, we want x to be in front, so we're just going to rewrite this as x is less than negative 5, which means when you graph it, you should have negative 5 with an open circle pointing to the left towards that negative 6. Using order of operations, we're going to solve the following. Remember, order of operations is parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide from left to right, and add and subtract from left to right. No parentheses, no exponents. Now I'm ready to multiply and divide from left to right. First I have 3 times 2, which is 6, so then I bring down everything else. Then I have some division, which is 6 divided by 3, which gives me 2. As I'm bringing down everything else, now I just have adding and subtracting from left to right again. 4 plus 6 is 10, and 10 minus 2 is equal to 8. Number 6, again, solving using order of operations. I do have some parentheses, but unfortunately within those parentheses is just the number 3, so I go into exponents, and this 4 squared means 4 times 4, which is 16. Bring down everything else. The next thing I have is multiplying and dividing. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. And then the last part, adding and subtracting from left to right. Negative 15 minus 16 is negative 31, and negative 31 plus 9, that's the same thing as just taking 31, subtracting 9, we should get negative 22. Double check that on my calculator, but I'm pretty sure we got that one right. 31 minus 9. Yep. Okay. Onward to number 7. Parentheses again. We have 2 sets of parentheses, here and here. Within this first set of parentheses, we have exponents to deal with first. So that's 36, because 6 times 6 is 36. Then plus 2 is 38. Minus 35 minus 7, or 35 divided by 5 is 7. So 38 minus 7 gives me my answer of 31. Again, looking at order of operations. Whoops. We have parentheses first here. That's going to give me a 7. Bringing down everything else. Then I have some multiplication. 1/2 times 20. Remember, you can solve that by doing 1/2 times 20 over 1, or taking a half of something is just cutting it in 2. So 20 over 2, which is equal to 10. So now this is equal to 10 plus 7 is 17. Number 9, solve each equation, show the work. Minus 3 from both sides. We get 5x equals 15. Divide both sides by 5. X is equal to 3. 10, distribute first. 3 times 2 is 6x, and then 3 times negative 4 is negative 12, equals 18. I'm going to add 12 to both sides. I should get 6x is equal to 30. Dividing both sides by 6 gives me my final answer of x equaling 5. This next one, I got a few things going on, so I'm going to combine some like terms. First off, I have 10x and negative 12x. That gives me negative 2x. Then I have a positive 15 and a positive 4. That's going to give me 19. So plus 19 is equal to 10. Next step, I'm going to subtract 19 from both sides. 10 minus 19 gives me negative 9. Looks like we're going to get a decimal here. That's okay. Final step, divide both sides by negative 2. X should be equal to 4.5, or you can say 4.5. Or if you left it as 9 over 2, that would work as well. Any of these 3 options would be okay for your exam. Number 12, a lot going on here. We have variables on both sides and some combining of like terms. If you notice on the left side though, 6x and minus 6x just cancel out. But I still have a negative 8 and a negative 3, which is going to give me negative 11, and then equals 5 minus 4x. Next up, move the 5 over, minus 5 from both sides. This is going to create a negative 16 is equal to negative 4x. And then my final step is just divide both sides by negative 4. X will be equal to a positive 4. Solving the inequalities show all the work. You do not have to graph these. If you wanted to, you could. When we solve inequalities, it's the same thing as solving equations. You're moving everything to its correct side for the team. So I'm moving all my numbers here, and I have my variables here. Now I have 2x is greater than 8. Finally, I divide both sides by 2, so I get x is greater than 4. If you decided to graph that, that is an open circle above the 4 pointing right. Number 14 can be solved first by distributing. 3 times 4x is 12x, and 3 times 2 is 6. So 12x plus 6 is less than or equal to 18. Next up, I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. I'm going to get 12x is less than or equal to 12. Finally, my last step will be to divide both sides by 12. X is less than or equal to 1. If you decided to graph that one, this is a closed circle pointing left. Number 15, double trouble. We got distributing on both sides of my inequality symbol. 2 times 4x and 2 times 1. That's going to give me 8x plus 2 is greater than or equal to 3x minus 15. The next thing I'm going to do is move my smallest variable, which is this 3, to prevent any negatives. I get 5x plus 2 is greater than or equal to negative 15 still. Notice I brought that negative down with the 15. Next up, subtract 2 from both sides. I'm going to get 5x is greater than or equal to negative 17. We're going to get a decimal here. That's okay. Dividing both sides by 5, I'm going to get x is greater than or equal to, you can still say negative 17 fifths, or if you wanted to change it into a mixed number, you can say negative 3 and 2 fifths, or if you got your decimal, negative 3.4. Any of these options would work. Number 16, final steps, we are moving our smallest variable. First, I get 2x plus 2 is greater than 10. Subtracting 2 from both sides.